This is a true life story. Watch how this US based lady deported her Nigerian husband for deceiving her. So now I will leave you to watch the video and I'll be back to share my thoughts.
Me that he has a secret son from a secret relationship from a woman called Ronke in this same United States. And for 10 years of our marriage, I didn't know about it. I took the woman's name and I searched for her on Facebook. Luckily, she was on Facebook. I left her a message on Facebook. And after 1 hour, she replied. And it was as if she has been waiting for this day to come. So after she replied me on Facebook, we exchanged numbers and then we started talking on the phone. And that's when she revealed more information to me. During the 10 years of our marriage, Femi had introduced his sister to me, called Blessing, who lives in Nigeria. And she will call me most times. I call her too. I mean, she's my sister-in-law. I will send her money from time to time, especially during festive period. Most Christmas, I send her money. And here is the part that will shock you the most. I'm just finding out from Ronke that this Blessing is not Femi's sister. It is Femi's wife, his legal wife in Nigeria. He married her in church and both in court. They got married 5 years before Femi married me. So now, I had just found out that I am just his American arrangement to adjust his immigration status in America. And so I didn't confront him immediately. I needed to take my time and gather all the paperwork, all the evidence I needed to report him to the immigration. And so I hired an attorney in Nigeria to help me get all the necessary documents, all the court marriage papers that I need to be able to file a report against him. 3 months after that, the attorney contacted me. She said she had every document ready, and I went ahead and I filed the report to immigration. And so he came home one evening, and 2 things were waiting for him. 1, the immigration investigation notice was waiting for him on the kitchen counter. Number 2, me sitting across the table waiting for him. He picked up the notice, opened it and read it, and then sat it down on the table. He turned around and looked at me with an expression I have never seen on his face. For 10 years we have been married. He gently sat down like something had been removed from his legs. And I told him, you called that woman your sister. For 10 years, you called her your sister, Femi. For 10 years, I have sent her Christmas money. For 10 years, I have prayed for her on the phone. While all this while, she was your wife, married in 2009, in court. He tried everything he could that night, crying, begging. He offered me money. He even offered me vasectomy reversal. He said it was okay, that we can now have kids. I told him, the investigation is already open, Femi. There is nothing I can do for you at this point. I mean, your own paperwork is talking for you. Few months later, he was placed in immigration detention center. And 4 months after that, his green card was revoked. He filed in for appeal, and his appeal was denied. And 14 months later, Femi Adeyemi was deported back to Nigeria, where he belongs. And I was in my kitchen sipping tea. My phone was up to you. If he better for you, make I know why. Now, let me tell you about Femi Adeyemi before I tell you what he did to me. Because if I start to talk, if I open my mouth and talk about what Femi did to me, if I start with the betrayal talk, you will not understand completely how this man fooled me. We met in 2012 in a mutual friend's housewarming in DC. I was 28 and he was 38. I was already established. I had a good job. I owned my own apartment. No financial drama at all. I wasn't looking for a man to complete me. I was just looking for a partner. Femi courted me properly. He met with my parents. He even sat with my father for hours. When he proposed to me in 2014, my mother was very happy. My father was very happy. My mother even called him a blessing. Before we got married, we had serious conversations. Conversations that every serious partner will have. We talked about children, our finances, basically our future in general. I wanted children. 3 or 4 children. Family means everything to me, and I let him know that. Femi said he wanted children too. He said he wanted 3 children, and that we will start having kids as soon as we are done with our wedding. It seemed like we were perfect together, so we agreed on that. But what I did not know, what I did not discover until it almost destroyed me is that Femi had quietly walked into a private clinic in Silver Spring, Maryland, and had a vasectomy. Yes, he had a vasectomy. And not just that, he did something else. Something I will never find out until after 10 years. He had a wife in Lagos, registered in court, legally and binded, and he came to America, buried both of those facts, smiled at my father, said I do, and meant absolutely none of it. I was not his wife. I was just his American arrangement, and I will spend 10 years of my life not knowing this. And you think he will be well with you? Femi Adeyemi, it shall never be well with you. This is a true life story. It is not mine, but she gave me permission to share it. And I will tell it in her voice, because that's the only way I do justice to it, so you can feel the pain she has continued to live with up until today. 8 months into our marriage, we started trying for a child, or at least I thought we were trying. Months after months, nothing was happening. I keep telling myself it's normal. Bodies are different. Some bodies take more time than the others. And then I started tracking my monthly cycle obsessively. I changed my diet. I stopped drinking entirely. I did everything right. I started taking prenatal vitamins as well. After a whole year, nothing was happening still. I went back to my OBGYN and she ran a couple of tests and the results came back normal. My OBGYN said, try another 6 months and then come back if nothing happens. But this time, come back with your husband. And I told Femi, he just turned around, nodded his head and said nothing else. And that was it. Before you know it, another 6 months passed and nothing still. I cried in grocery stores parking lots. I hid so many pregnancy test kits under my car seat so Femi wouldn't see how many I was buying. And yet, every month, the test result comes out negative. And then I finally started pushing Femi to go to the doctor with me. But he resisted. head. He would look at me and said, there is nothing wrong with me. He kept telling me there was nothing wrong with him and that I was stressing myself for nothing and that stress affects fertility as well. But this time, I wasn't backing down. I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I pushed harder until he agreed to semen analysis. And guess what? The test result came back zero sperm. Zero sperm count, you guys. Zero sperm count. And the doctor said it might be a poor sample. And then he should come back next time to try again. And he thanked the doctor, got up and walked away. I walked behind him while we were walking to the car. He seemed so unbothered. And I was like, my husband just found out that he has zero sperm count. And he seemed not to care. He seemed so unbothered. I should have listened to what that calmness was telling me. I should have listened. But I didn't. And I blamed myself for the next 10 years. And at some point, I was so confused, I didn't know what else to do. So I went ahead and signed up for IVF. And he didn't complain. He didn't try to stop me. He would watch me run towards a wall that he already built. And then he would watch me hit it over and over again. And he would say nothing. IVF is not a simple thing. It takes tons of poking yourself with needle on your stomach every morning. It takes a lot of money. It is not a simple procedure. And this man went with me to every appointment. He drove me to every appointment, held my hand in the waiting room, looked at me with this patient, gentle expression that I thought it was love at the time. And I'm now just finding out that it was never love. Nah, it wasn't love. It was management. It was him keeping me calm, keeping me in the marriage, and keeping me from asking the right questions. On the second round of the IVF, I had a very bad reaction from the hormone injection. I was bedridden for 4 days. I was so bloated. I was feverish. I was in real pain. When I say pain, in real pain. And I remember Femi would bring me soup, sit beside me on the bed, and watch me eat it. And I was thinking to myself, oh, this man loves me. I was wrong. 3 rounds of IVF, 3 failures, 31 negative pregnancy tests across my 4 years of trying. 31. After the 3rd round of the IVF failed, my doctor called us and sat us down, and she said she needed a more thorough analysis of Femi's sperm. After the 3rd round of the IVF failed, my doctor called us and sat us down, and she said she needed a more thorough analysis of Femi's sperm. She specifically said the word vasectomy. She said she wanted to test for it and rule that out. Do you know that Femi sat there with a straight face and did not move at all? And then he turned to the doctor and said, that's not possible. I've never had a procedure with a very straight face. The doctor scheduled a follow-up appointment for us twice, and Femi cancelled it twice. I rescheduled, and he cancelled it again. And at this point, I had to rebook another appointment for myself because he obviously did not want to go. And on that day, my car was bad, and I needed to order a ride. And Femi has been the one ordering ride for us. I do not have the Uber app in my phone. So I picked up his phone to book the ride myself. And guess what popped up on his phone? His calendar. And on that day, on Wednesday, 2013, everything started unraveling. Everything. And then I decided to scroll down his call log from that week. And there was this specific number that stood out. He had called that number 3 times every day before that Wednesday. So I took the number and then went inside our bathroom, locked the door, sat down inside there and put that number on Google. When I put that number on Google, you guys, guess what popped up? It was a men's health vasectomy clinic that popped up on my phone. I was shocked. I was beyond shocked. I sat down on the cold towels in the bathroom and I stopped breathing for a few seconds. And when I say I stopped breathing, I'm not joking. I stopped breathing for a few seconds. And then the next morning I confronted him. I showed him the clinic number. He looked at the phone number. And then he turned around and looked at me. The expression on his face, The expression on his face, I don't know how to describe it. It was not guilt at all. It was not panic. It was something quieter and more devastating than both of them. That expression was more like a relief. Like a man who has been holding his breath for years and he's finally allowed to exhale. And he turned to me and said, I am sorry, I was going to tell you. And I asked him, when? When were you going to tell me? All this while you were driving me around to hospital back and forth and you knew what you did. When were you going to tell me? Femi, you watched me do 3 IVFs. You watched me inject myself every single morning. And you would think he's sorry. But guess what? He turned around and said, well, the IVF wasn't going to work anyway. And I told him, yes, of course, it wasn't going to work because of you. And you knew it. And you sat down in those waiting rooms every single time, knowing what you did. He did not deny it. He did not even as much as try to deny it at all. He just sat on the kitchen table staring at me. He didn't deny it. And then he turned to me and said, in a very low tone, I knew you wanted children, but maybe we can adopt. What about adoption? And I said to him, yes, you knew. And you let me think my body was broken for years. You sat in the doctor's office every time and watched them run tests on me. You watched me bleed and cry, and yet you said nothing. And then he said in a very shaky voice, I didn't know how to tell you. I just didn't know how to tell you.
The biggest lesson from this story is that love should never replace wisdom. No matter how much you trust someone, it is very necessary to verify the important things they are telling you, especially when it comes to marriage. If you listen to her story very well, you would notice she ignored some red flags. Yeah, maybe love took over her. Love blinded her. Of course, they said love is blind. If you're in a serious relationship, don't ignore red flags or feel guilty that maybe you are asking too many questions. Healthy relationships are built on honesty, transparency, and accountability, and not the other way around. Yeah. And yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. Share your thoughts with me in the comment section, and also do well to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also share this video. We learn from other people's experience. You don't necessarily have to wait for something to happen to you before you learn. You learn from other people's mistake. I will see you in my next video. Bye.